Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Right. Looking for a latch guard just to prevent like crowbar insertion into the crevice of a door to pop open. And I'm looking at your MAG 8844-AL 6-inch latch guard.
Okay.
Now, number one, that's a steel latch, right? It's not aluminum. It says aluminum finish, but is it steel in the core?
8844-AL. So that is.
I'm seeing aluminum, but I'm kind of surprised because aluminum is not going to be as strong as steel that stop a crowbar from getting in there, right?
Well, I think you could put platinum there, and someone's going to try to break it with it, if that's what it boils down to. I am not sure what its base material is. Stand by one moment. Let me investigate this.
Yes, thank you.
It's made of aluminum.
Okay, so I don't think you created this because it's not going to hold up, or else people like myself would think this is not going to do the job. But most of the product you'll see on the market, they're saying this is a stainless steel item, and people feel comfortable that you're going to get the hardest movement. I don't know how to judge whatever grade aluminum this is. I don't know if you have any insight as well.
I don't.
Okay, well that's fair. I appreciate you being forthright. I want to go back to it again. This particular item, it looks as though it's about 1.25 inches, it looks like, into the opening of the door, or 1 3/4 inches. It might be totally left to right. It's 1 3/4 inches. I don't know. I'm looking at the dimensions. It says 1 3/4 inches. So I would imagine that's totally the diameter from left side to right side, which means the part that sticks into the doorway is going to be less than 1 3/4 inches, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. It appears this would be for a door that's an in-swinging door. So when the door comes to close, that latch guard, the door comes to meet that latch guard. Is that what I'm seeing correctly in the picture?
If you had a pair of doors, I would say you're correct.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the other lip goes alongside the door frame to give it protection. So it doesn't say anything about this being two doors. Are you actually looking at the picture that I'm looking at?
Yes, and I'm the person who made the video that's associated with it. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I mean,
is that actually meant for two doors?
It can be used anywhere where you can fit it.
Okay, good.
You didn't declare if you're installing it on a single door or the active or the inactive of a pair.
I'm sorry. Okay, it's going to be a single door. It's a metal door going to my outside driveway, and the door swings into the house. So judging by the way that this latch configuration is by this picture, it appears that the door would swing closed to lock into the latch, and then the door would rest up against the interior lip of your latch guard.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of problems with that. The first being that you may or may not have the room to install that flat portion over your jamb.
The door might not close, is what you're saying. No catch.
No, I didn't say that. So where the top of the T would be, part of that's going to overlap the door. The other part's going to have to sit on the face of the frame. Does the face of your frame have that room available there? And I don't really know what that dimension is, but you might have to do some frame modification to get it to fit. Yeah,
I agree. I think it'll fit under the molding. I think there's molding there, and I think I can send it underneath the molding because it'll probably be really thin. That's a good point.
Yeah, so the second problem is that thing is not designed for a latch bolt to come and hit the edge of that unit. So really where you're going to see this is, you might need to modify the back end of so your strike clip can come out, further, of course, compromising the latch guard. So you might need to, consider the fact that alterations are sometimes required.
Yep. I might actually have to take the door jamb, the door frame, and actually have to bevel out a little bit of space so that the latch thickness will sit inside of it. So the latch lock opening and your guard will be even. And I think that's the modification. The strike plate, yep.
So the term would be not bevel, but mortise, and then it would be not latch,
mortise,
but strike. Yeah, you mortise it flush. That'd be a real good way of doing it.
Okay, and then the other part on the outside slips underneath, then that works too. Okay, that's kind of what I was looking for, rather than something that's 2 or 3 inches and you open up the door, you try to get into the door and you're going to hit your hip on it. I wasn't real a fan of the other items. When I saw yours, I got excited about it. I said, that's really what I'm looking for, I think. Now, the other thing is I went and looked at another product. It said, under the questions, hit here for a standard indoor. I don't know why, but when I hit it, I'm going to give you the number. It might just be style, but there is a Don Joe ILP 212, and this is 12 inches. So that's just longer. Same concept, right? No, this has 2 pieces. So this is a little different. In that, first of all, what is this made of? I just go down here and it'll tell me. It's brass plated, so I don't know what it tells me on the inside. If it's plated, steel. So this is something that's made from 14 gauge steel. So you have an exterior for aesthetics, and then you have the steel for the strength underneath. So that's it. But this looks like it's a little bit different. This looks as though there's 2 pieces that come together, and I guess are screws exposed to the outside on this particular latch?
They are, but that Z-shaped plate that mounts to the jamb will substantially cover access to the head of those screws. Now, having said that, and having installed them in the past, even if they weren't, I defy you to get those screws out. I've tried. They're one-way slip-style screws. You're not going to get the screws out. The point being, double check your measurements, because once those screws are in, it's a done deal.
Yep, I hear what you're saying. So if I'm looking around your site in terms of preference, I can choose this. Like, this is brass plated. 12 inches is long, but longer the better, I guess, because there's less access entry, right? So that's the advantage of the brass one, right? I would think. Like, why would I choose the brass one?
The longer one.
Yeah, the longer one over the short aluminum one. Like, why would I?
Well, the longer one is going to do a better job at not only what you said, but also if you've got 2 locks on the door, you can kind of cover both latch bolts.
There you go. That's okay. And if you have a single lock, then it's less room for a crowbar to get in up and down nearby the strike plate, right?
Yeah, less room that less area that you're giving people the opportunity by which to, and the industry term is Lloyd, L-O-I-D. You want to make it easy to Lloyd that latch bolt.
Okay.
I really don't think the 8844 is correct though for an in-swing. Because I don't see how you're going to make that work unless you're going to rip one half of the small T off, and the ILP 212 or the 206, that's the one to use for an in-swing.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't want to buy it, but it does say for in or out opening doors in the description of the 8844, the aluminum one.
Well,
it does say in or out.
It does. And there's nothing about the product that violates that statement. What's violating the integrity of the statement is your potential application. which is why I asked if you had a pair of doors. Because, you know, imagine in your mind's eye attaching that to your frame.
I do. I see the lip on the outside going underneath the molding on the outside or on top of the molding.
Yeah.
And what
would happen if that short part of the T was greater than the projection of your so because of the short part of the T, you have no way to install that onto the rabbet of your frame. It will never be flush. You'd have to, you know, heavily modify the latch guard to fit in. You know, if you drew a cross section of your frame, in your mind's eye, and then try to fit that geometric piece into it, there's just no way it's going to fit. If it's a standard single rabbet or double rabbet wood frame, or a steel frame, it's not going to work. It'd be nice if it was an L shape. It would kind of work in that regard, but the ILP series,
that's better.
It's meant for a single in swing.
Okay.
That 8844 will work if it's a pair of doors on an in swing or a reverse swing, single door potentially.
But it looks like this is a better application, and it gives me greater length. And there's nothing wrong with the length because the amount of protrusion on the inside, I'm looking at it, is so small. The only concern I had when I saw pictures of it and whatever was that the screws were exposed outside. And I guess you'd have to have that one-way screw. But there are people that carry, if they're going to break into a home, I'd be carrying that kind of a screwdriver that opens that, right? It's a reverse screwdriver.
You're not going to be able to. No. Okay. When you see these screws, you're saying, I know what he was talking about. You're not pulling these screws out, not without a lot more tools. It's not happening.
I got you.
I tried.
That's okay, and I appreciate and it's okay that it's longer because it's not so intrusive. It was 3 inches, like a lot of the latch guards are. I wouldn't want it to be 12 inches tall and 3 inches in. And you open the door, you just can't get in there. You'd be like bouncing all over it. Your elbows.
There's another advantage to the length. So a very common attack on residential construction is this. If I take a 2x4, if you got a 3-foot door, let's say between the stops you're about 34 and 7/8. If I take a 2x4 and cut it to like 35 and a half inch, and I put that right at the lock, and then I take and pound that 2x4 horizontal between the stops, I bow your frame out, I can just push your door in at that point. It happens. This longer latch bolt would work to defeat that attack because you can't separate the door and jamb apart from each other because of how that offset bar fits into the U-shaped bar. So that's a nice way to defeat that attack as well.
Yeah, I like it. That gives you added protection. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, I think that's great. So I think now, are there other choices to this ILP, or is it the one product? You're looking at a 12-inch brass ILP, which is fine. The doorknobs are brass. I just didn't. I guess I'll look at the video to see how it installs and how it lays out. I mean, do I have to do major modification with this particular series compared to the other one? Do I have to start mortising and whatever, or is this just going right on top?
Yeah, just the latter. You should be encountering no modification to the door and frame.
Oh, good. That might be the choice to go. So that on the ILP though, that's the product. There's nothing that's 8 inches. Not that I would want it, but there's no other even finish if I was going to go to nickel or something. Is that available, or is it just this product right here, which I think is fine?
There's 6 and 12 only, and then there are different colors: brass, chrome, dark brown, silver, things of that nature.
All right. So I think what I'll do, and I have to just look at the video to make sure on the install I'm comfortable with it, but I kind of see from the diagram down below, it's pretty clear. You just latch it there, and you latch it into the door, and then the two come together, and you only see the screws that are on the jamb, the door jamb. You don't see the ones that are on the door because they get closed and cover up. But I see. So both of these items come right into right now. Okay, so that's okay. So the door carries a little bit of lip. All right, but the amount that's protruding from the door jamb, it looks like it's only about maybe half inch, right? Coming out
at the most,
half inch.
You've got that channel that you're going to screw to the face of the door that will always be there, but but the amount of projecting hardware into the opening is pretty minor.
I think this is what I'm looking for. So I'll just go online here, add it to my cart, and just buy it.
I hope you report back to me your success. I'd like to hear how you take a few seconds and try to turn that screw out. Let me know how that went.
Well, it's interesting. I had a break-in in the house, which is why I'm doing this, and glass was shattered to get into the house. I had a side light next to my door. So the problem with the side light is if your door lock on the inside has a knob, someone can reach in and turn open that knob. So for fire reasons, at least in New York State, you can't have a keyed exit at your going outside. So
depends.
If you want to get insurance coverage, you have to. What do you mean?
The NFPA standard says if occupancy exceeds 3, you can't have it.
Oh. Okay.
Now, it's only code if the New York local code adopted NFPA 101. If they did, then if it's just you and the missus, you can put it on there. Now, you could also put a deadbolt that has a captive thumb turn, meaning when you go away on vacation, you take the key that's captive in there, and with a special tool, you pull it out. But when you are living there, you leave that key in there, and it acts as a thumb turn. It's a key, but it really looks like a thumb turn when it's installed and needs an emergency key to remove. So that's that's what I recommend to people. Or in my case, 23 years ago or so, when my oldest was just a little kid running around, I don't want her reaching up and grabbing my big lever, opening up the door. You damn right I put a double cylinder on there. I don't want her going out the front door when mom's on the phone.
Exactly. And now the kids are up and they're older. My only concern would be if I'm running out of the house in the billow of smoke, if I can't find a keyhole to put a key in. Now you're saying leave the key in, but if I leave the key in, I have the same thing as a knob. You're saying when I go away, I can pull the key out and then there's no knob. Yeah. But when I'm in the house, I have the exposure of a break-in. Somebody can come in and actually open that door because the key is in the lock.
That's where your Second Amendment comes in. Or that's where your ADT comes in.
Yeah, and I have that. So I hear what you're saying. So I'm looking at the choice of saying either leave the key in or leave a doorknob, and then when I go away, understanding when I go away, I'm not as secure as the keyed. So that's a good point. Do you have a recommendation, since you seem to be talking to people about this? Is there a product that you're talking about that there's tons of them out there, but you don't know which one to choose? Do you have a recommendation for that type of lock?
Yeah, of course. Kaba Ilko makes it. Kaba Ilko is a name that's been around. It's an amalgamation of different company names, and they literally make a deadbolt series that allows you to make it double cylinder, but then do a captive thumb turn on the inside that requires an emergency tool to release. It's Kaba's 45 series is what you're looking for.
CABBA?
Kilo Alpha Bravo Alpha. KABA.
KABA.
Yeah, Kaba 45. If you search in my site, Kaba, then the number 45, scroll down to about the middle of the page and click on any of them. And then when that comes up, you can click on the instructions, but we have to do a deeper dive to navigate you to where you see the captive thumb turn. Are you in the site now?
Well, you know what? You want me to go to Kaba? I'm on your site. You want me to go to the Kaba?
No. My site's perfect. So do this. Type in KABA 45, then hit enter.
Yeah, let me just get. Something was wrong with the top of my screen on this. I can't get to the. I don't know why. Let me go there and come back. Wow, that's really bizarre. Go this way. My work upward. No, that's strange. Something wrong on my iPad. I'm trying to get to the top of the screen. I can type in the. It might go like this. It might be exposed. Shoot. It's really weird. Just wondering if that makes sense to me to go to this site. Let me go to the comments. I don't know why this is happening. I can't for some reason. It's not allowing me to go from the top. I'm just going to put it.
Or if you want, click the live chat in the upper right-hand corner, and I can just pass you the link.
All right. Let me just see what happens.
Are you doing this from your phone?
Let me go to what you said. Okay. All right, I'm in the live chat, I think.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. So I'm just going to pass you a link right here. So you go ahead and click on that, and then it will give you it'll show you what it looks like.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, there, and then the other key is the one that's the emergency key that opens it.
That's right.
Okay, so one acts as a doorknob, the other one acts as that. And obviously, if you're going away, you use that. You don't. I got it. Now the only thing is, this is a cylinder, though. I guess.
So I don't think you're speaking into the mouthpiece.
Oh, sorry.
Hear you. Oh, there you are.
Is it a kit? This looks like it's a lock cylinder. Does this just go into the door?
Yeah. So that's what the inside would look like of the Kaba 45 series entire deadbolt. So in that search box, if you typed in Kaba 45, scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see what the deadbolt looks like.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. So you stay right there. I'm gonna send you a chat. I'm gonna send you a link. Stay right where you are.
Okay.
Here we are. Okay, that second link gives you an idea of what the deadbolt looks like, and then that cylinder just gets threaded into that housing that's there.
Oh, I see. So there's a deadbolt, and I see. Now that whole assembly, which is a $59 one, right? That whole assembly comes with that kit right there.
No, it doesn't, but that just shows you what the lock looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, it's showing a strike deadbolt, and it's showing a knob. Not a knob, it's showing a cylinder, and the internal cylinder goes on. So if you bought this the way it is, you wouldn't get all those pieces?
No, we'd have to come up with that long, lengthy part number. The cost of what you want is probably going to be approaching $90 would be my guess.
Okay. So if you want to do all of it. So I may have to call you back, because I have to look at the door and see what's available in terms of the opening.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Well, we're dealing with metal doors.
Okay.
So I have to see. I'll be able to have a hole available in there. You
have a deadbolt on the door now, I imagine?
I do.
Yeah, so replacing it is the concept, or adding to it.
Yep. I might be able to put it with it. Yep. There's possibilities. Okay, but thank you for your product. I'm going to go back and just look at your video on that and make sure I'm confident with the install to see if it's applicable to my door frame. But I think it's exactly what I'm looking for, something that doesn't protrude and gives me a block on that crease by the strike.
Yeah, where the stop is. Absolutely. And yeah, once you place your order and you get your item, call me. I'll walk you through the installation.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great, Richard. I appreciate that. I will do that.
Yes, sir.
If I have to, I can FaceTime you and have you look at it.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, so thank you. I'll be back to you.
Right on, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.